All good? Yeah, very good, Kimura. Buenos días. Buenos días a todos. James, Priscilla, Haley, Nikki, how are we today? So I have something weird up here, you guys. I have radishes. You guys ever eaten a radish? So I brainstorm some ideas on how radishes might connect to Christmas? LOL. Crazy ideas. How radishes can connect to Christmas. No Googling, right? You're brainstorming. Hola, Kari. So you guys be thinking. It can be crazy ideas. Just don't Google anything. Brainstorm ideas in chat on how radishes might connect to Christmas. Okay, very good. More great idea. Anybody else? What can we do with radishes and how might they connect to Christmas? They're red. Hola, Dallas. Hola, Ashlyn. Carlin. ¿Cómo estás? Evan, how are you? Carolina. So remember, you guys turn our cameras on, please. Hi, Carolina. Okay. So here are some ideas as to how radishes might connect to Christmas. Somebody said you can use them in the food. Yeah, like in a salad. Absolutely. We can like make decorations out of them, like if you had like toothpicks and you stuck them together and like dress them up like a gnome or Santa Claus or something like that. Can you do that? Yeah. Okay. How else can we connect them to Christmas? Dallas, Elizabeth, buenos dias. Aslan, camera, please. Any other ideas? So here's what we're going to do today, right? Now, you guys normally in, I don't know, grade school, middle school, whatever, when your teachers had little Christmas parties and stuff like that, you had Rudolph, you had Santa, you had just the usual kind of Christmas parties. Am I right? Yeah. Well, we're going to do something a little different to celebrate Christmas and to learn something else, something like about Mexico, okay? Specifically Mexico. So we're going to focus on something called Noche de Rábanos. So who can tell me what is noche, la noche? Like if I say buenas noches, what am I saying? You guys remember? What is noche? Very good. Nighttime, right? So the night of, so what's your guess about a rábano? What is a rábano, you guys? Based on the image behind me, radishes. Very good, Elizabeth. So the night or the evening of the radishes. What the heck? What does this have to do with Christmas, right? So that's what we're going to find out today. And we're going to go to a place in Mexico called Oaxaca. Oaxaca. Oaxaca is a state in Mexico. There are, Mexico has states just like the United States, right? And this particular festivity, if you will, right, Evening of the Radishes, is only celebrated in Oaxaca, and it's done on el 23 de diciembre, on the 23rd of December. Okay, so what we're going to do today, clase, is we are going to take a look at Oaxaca, because it's one of the places in Mexico that really has a lot of tourism. It's kind of a maybe more wealthy state. Okay, a lot of things going on there in Oaxaca. So we are going to look at how they celebrate this Noche de Rábanos. Okay, so take a look behind me up here, you guys. What is this? Any ideas? Pop it in the chat. Any ideas, you guys? What is this? Is it a painting? Is it a sculpture? Is it what is it? What does this look like to you? Yes. Yes. You're Kimura, you're right. Elizabeth is right. Very good. Heaven. So you guys are telling me that it's a sculpture made out of radishes. Yeah. And in this case, it kind of looks like a god. So it's probably like an Aztec or a Mayan god. Okay. Yeah. Or king, maybe. Right? Okay. Anybody else? All right. So let's get into this a little bit today. And I want to try to kind of finish it up before, so that you guys have some work time for anybody who needs some work time. Okay. So real quick, if you unmuted, you guys, it would go faster. It's up to you. Real quick, I have a question. What elements, like what things make tradition? How do we know when something's a tradition? What or like part of culture, right?
When it's something that's usually very like traditional or special, you can find it like done year after year after year, or
Okay,
past
something
and
that's
present.
very good. Something that's done year after year after year. Anybody else? What makes something like culture? What is an element of culture? We know language, right? What else? What else it makes up culture? Food, absolutely. That's kind of the easiest, most obvious thing. But then there's things like clothing, right? Or even, especially like traditional clothing, right? So food, traditional clothing, traditions, things that we do year after year, right? So what we're going to see when we check out Oaxaca today, and La Noche de Rábanos, you're going to see sort of history, culture, traditions kind of all come into play. Okay. And so I want you to be sort of thinking about those things as we get started here. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to give you a little context before I start this. Okay. In the chat, I'm going to put a word, and I know we talked about it the other day. Okay. And the word is Zócalo. Zócalo, right? The largest Zócalo is like the one in Mexico City. And I pointed it out to you one day. It's like the where the president lives, and the president comes out on out and everybody can go into the Zocalo. And the Zocalo is kind of a meeting place, right, for the community. It's like where everybody goes. It's like where things happen, the town square, right, the city center. Okay. The larger the city, the bigger the Zocalo, right? And if the city is large enough, like a Mexico City, you're going to have more than one, right? But there's always going to be like a main one. Okay. So what we're going to look at first is we are going to check out Oaxaca from the Zocalo, from one of the Zocalo in the city of Oaxaca, which is in the state of Oaxaca. Okay. And I just kind of want you to look at like the people, what they're doing. I think this was probably made during COVID because there's people with masks or whatever. You can ignore that. Okay. Look at the shops, look at the architecture, look at the food, what are people doing? Okay. And then I'm going to ask you to kind of comment about it. Okay. All right. So here we go. Make sure you can see, make sure you can hear. Okay. Be thinking, morning, Christopher. Be thinking, morning, Stacy. Be thinking culture, Arshas, buenos dias. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Capital de Chiapas.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit. going to stop it there because it's 12 minutes. We're not going to watch all 12 minutes. So first of all, what did you notice? What were people doing? What was happening in the Zocalo? What did you notice? You can unmute or pop it in the chat, please. But let's try to have a little conversation real quick. Kimura?
I noticed a lot of people walking around with a lot of family members and couples, old and young people.
Yeah. All right. So they were kind of hanging out, right? What else?
Oh, and I also saw like some vendors like with clothes.
All
and
right. People
food.
selling things. All right, you guys. Anybody else? What'd you notice? Do we have places like that here? Kind of, sort of, Arshas? We do? Okay. Like what? Can you compare? Give me an example. Do we have places like that where like people just kind of sit around and have coffee and outside and stuff like that? Do we have that? Yeah. In the bigger cities? Okay. Yeah. Christopher, what did you notice? Elizabeth, what did you notice? Nikki, Haley, what did you guys notice? Anything? What about like the architecture, the space? What were the people's maybe attitude or feeling? Okay. Yeah.
Friendly.
Friendly. All right. Everybody kind of chilling, right? A lot of older buildings.
Chit-chatting.
Chit-chatting, hanging out. Okay. So you can kind of see what you know, it's maybe a slower pace of life, right? Maybe people have more opportunity than we do to sort of sit around and relax. Is it, do you think we have a place, you guys, where we can like I don't know what the word I mean is, to try to sort of hang out in the same spot? Like, look at all these people. There's tons of people here, right? It's peaceful. Yeah, heaven, right? And people just go and kind of hang out and they mind their own business. You don't necessarily have to visit. There doesn't have to be, you know, a sale going on. In fact, you don't have to buy anything, right? They're not there to buy necessarily, right? What are they there to do? You guys, they're not there to go shopping. They're not like saying, oh, I'm going to go over there and shop, right? What are they there to do? What's your sense? What'd you say, Christopher? Socialize. Yeah. To just walk around, right? And just, yeah, be in the community. Okay. So this is what essentially part of Oaxaca looks like. And it is in the Zocalo where we are going to see the Noche de Rábanos. Okay. All right. So now you kind of have a feeling for where we are and what it looks like. Okay. Muy bien. All right. So the next thing I need for everybody to do, por favor, yes, to enjoy the environment. Absolutely. Right. Nobody like bothers the other person. You just go over there and kind of hang out, and you can, you know, be with friends, or you can be alone, and no one kind of messes with that. Okay. And you're not there to like buy something or for purpose other than to maybe relax, right? Okay. All right. So the next thing I need, yeah, people were sleeping, laying down, you know, I mean, you know, really just enjoying, right? Okay. What I need for you to do, por favor, I need for you to meet me in Canvas. And you know, that's all part of like the culture, right? It's really not an integral part of our culture. Like, we have places like that, but we go there for like a purpose, you know what I'm saying? To shop, or to go for a coffee, or go to have lunch or something. These folks are not necessarily doing that, right? Okay, I need everybody to meet me in Canvas. I'm waiting on my computer. Carolina. So when you get there, you guys get in your modules, por favor. And I need you to scroll. Okay, and you can take a look at my Zoom screen. And you're going to find a module that says La Noche de Rábanos. Okay. What I would like you to do is click on the KWL chart. I'm not sure if it'll open, so I need somebody to I need everybody to try to open it, and I need somebody to tell me.
It opens and works.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Alrighty, so you can use your text box, or you can download it, or whatever you prefer. Use Cami, I don't know, whatever you prefer. Okay, and so before we go any further, right? We got what I already know about Noche de Rábanos, what I want to know, or questions I might have. And then and maybe you don't know anything, and that's what you're going to tell me, because this is weird, right? And this is kind of why I chose to do it. It's a different way of celebrating the holiday season, right? So I'll give you a couple of minutes to fill out know and want to know. Okay. And then just sit tight there, because at the end of class, then you'll fill out the third one, or you can fill it out as we go if that's what you prefer. Okay. All right. Anybody have trouble accessing? Carolina? Priscilla? James, we're not there. We're on the KWL chart. Nikki? Carlin, I can't see your screen. All right. So what do you know about it? Maybe you only know what I've said so far in class today. Maybe you know nothing, and that's fine as an answer. Okay. What do you want to know? And then, like I said, the L column, you can fill it in as we go today, or you can wait till the end of the hour, whatever you prefer. So I'll give you a couple more minutes. The K and the W. Okay. Another minute or two, just pop some ideas in there. James, what do you know? What questions do you have? Nikki, were you able to find it? The KWL chart, you're going to go to Canvas modules, scroll all the way down until you see the module for Noche de Rábanos, and then click on the KWL chart. And then we're just filling in the first two columns, right? And then we're going to come back together. Dallas? Yeah, Christopher, I don't see you in Go Guardian, so I can't guide you because I don't know where you are. I probably need to add you to that. I'll give myself a note. James, you jotting down some ideas? Nikki, I can't see your screen, so I'm going to assume. Haley, you got any questions? Yeah. Carolina? Aslan? Akari? Okay, thank you, Aslan. Okay, so again, you guys can leave that up and we're going to try to fill in that L column. What have we learned? You can do it as we go, or you can just come back to it at the end of the class. Okay, it's totally up to you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go fairly quickly through these because, like I say, I do want to give you some time. I also have a video to show us the actual scenario. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about La Noche de Rábanos, the night of the radishes in Mexico, part of Christmas, right? So it says Mexico is famous for its colorful festivals, and this is just one of many. So I want you guys, though, to take a look at the picture on the left where the man is sitting. Okay. Now, we've all been to the grocery store with a parent. We've all probably seen radishes in the veggie aisle, right, at the grocery store. I want you to notice the size of these. Do you see them? They are not, right? They are not the radishes, right, you guys, that we look at the size of these compared to this man here, right? They are not the radishes that we see in our grocery store. These are giant things. It's a different kind of radish, okay? Okay. Here is Oaxaca, and it's the there's the city of Oaxaca and then the state of Oaxaca. So it's way down here in southern Mexico. Here's the Zócalo. So this is part of what we just saw. We saw the fountain and the people sitting around up here. Okay, so that's where this happens. It has a tradition dating back more than 100 years. Every year, you know, somebody makes like this one, like a poster, you know, they have websites, things like that. And you can enter the contest. And if you haven't figured it out by now, they do these carvings of these giant radishes. Okay. And they compete with one another. Right. But there's a whole trick to it. So because it happens around Christmas, sometimes Christmas themed, right? Sometimes they're historically themed. Sometimes they're just for fun, right? It all depends on whatever. Okay. All right. So they create figures and scenes by carving these radishes, right? And arranging them. So this one, again, part of Mexican culture. Down here is mezcal. Mezcal is a big, like a cactus. And they have mezcal farms. And so they use mezcal to make various products. And so this carving is showing, for example, how part of the process of making mezcal, right? Of harvesting mezcal. So you can see that, like, this is an example of a carving that is specifically, you know, about something that happens in Mexico or in Oaxaca, right? Now, here's my other question. Looking at this picture, do you see anything in this carving arrangement that is not natural, right? So we need to notice that everything has to be made out of something from nature, whether it be lettuce or potatoes or, radishes or whatever, right? It has to all be natural. Okay. Okay. In the past, farmers wanted to get the attention of shoppers to sell more produce. So we saw the Zocalo. People were selling clothes over 100 years ago, because remember, this festival is over 100 years old. They would go to the Zocalo with their carts filled with vegetables, but everybody was producing more or less the same vegetable, right? So how do you make sure that they buy from you? So in order to get the attention of shoppers, they began to make carvings during the Christmas market. So people would come to the Zocalo, maybe to look around for things to buy for Christmas or to go to church or whatever it was, right? These guys would be out there trying to sell their vegetables, their fruit, whatever. How do you get more people to buy from you and the guy next to you selling the same thing, right? So they started making these carvings to attract people, right? In the carving, in the poster that you see in this slide, you guys, very elaborate. You see things that look like flowers and garland. You see a religious scene. Okay, we have to remember that generally speaking, people in Mexico are Roman Catholic, right? Generally speaking. Okay. The carved radish figures were only used to attract the attention of shoppers until 1897, when the governor of Oaxaca decided to create a contest. So this contest has been going on since 1897, 1898, whatever. Okay. That is another way of bringing sort of festival in. Okay. Participants in the Radish Carving Festival have only one day to prepare their displays, and they do everything in one day, everything on the 23rd of December. Now, you've already seen some images and how elaborate they can be. That has to all be done in one day. Why one day, you guys? Why not 2 days? Why not 3 days? Why, since 1897, why do they have to do it all in one day? What's your guess?
Because it's a tradition.
Okay, it's a tradition.
Radishes can go bad if they're left out too long, maybe.
Bingo, that's right. Stacy, Elizabeth, absolutely heaven. Because everything is produced, it has to be natural. Okay, and if you've got a contest in that going on, or if you try to put something in the refrigerator, but remember, in 1897, there were no refrigerators. People didn't have refrigerators, right? So as part of the tradition, because somebody said tradition, you're right, because it started at a time when there were no refrigerators. And so it just has remained, right? It has to be done in one day. Otherwise, they're going to rot. They're going to get dry and go yucky. Okay. So that's, if you think about when we look at some examples of these carvings, try to remember that they all have to be done in one day. Okay. So because the Night of the Radishes occurs just 2 days before Christmas, religious themes are very common. So this would be the nativity, right? Jesus being born at Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. Now take a look. You can see flowers, angels, stars, the manger, the people. Notice the detail in the people, right? The animals. And again, to have to do it all in one day, right? One very popular theme is the Virgin Mary, again, because remember that we're talking about a Roman Catholic tradition. Right? So look at the elaborateness of this carving, you guys. Look at this down here. Right? This is a Virgin Mary in a fancy dress. So these people are definitely artists. They're just artists with radishes. Okay. There's another one. Okay. Kind of like shrines. Yep. So Our Lady of Guadalupe is the patron saint of Mexico. And so this is an example of the Our Lady of Guadalupe. Here's another one. And this is another example of the nativity scene for Christmas, right? Very elaborate. Okay, here's a couple more that you can kind of see more close up. Notice that the hair on this figure is like moss. Okay. Now, not every one of them are religious, right? It just happens to be Christmas time. Okay, look at this one. This is scenes from the Bible. So imagine, again, you guys doing this all in one day. This one is a market that shows somebody selling like, well, down here are like tacos and sweet things, cakes and stuff like that, again, for Christmas. Okay, this one is farmers, again. These are Native American traditions. You have to think about the Maya or the Aztec or whatever, Native American. Again, all reflecting Mexican culture, right, and tradition. Okay, this one is actually of the Zócalo and the big church that's in the Zócalo. Kind of a close-up. This one includes a well. You see they made it look like bricks, right? And they even have the little jug and the rope to get the water out of the well, right? These are pretty creative. Okay, then there's a free category where you can kind of put your model in whatever you want. So can you guys figure out what this is?
Looks like a whale.
It is a whale. And how have they used the broccoli? Yeah, blowing water out of its blowhole. Okay. So that's a giant thing, right? Giant thing. Okay. Some of them are social or political. Some of them are like dinosaurs, right? Maybe an elephant, something like that. Okay. Fish. Supernatural things, right? This one is Dia de los Muertos. And kids can participate, right? You guys, to try to keep, the tradition alive, right? Kids got to learn how to do it. Okay. And it says that more than 20,000 people attend this. So it's like going to a sporting event or something, right? Okay. Now they're not all created out of radishes. So let's take a look at these real quick. These are what they call straw flowers. In other words, flowers that have been dried. So again, all natural. You can't have anything fake. And these are made out of flowers. Okay, so again, you have different representations. Right? Fancy dress. Look at the detail, you guys, all in here. Okay, and then these are corn husks, right? The dry part of the corn, like corn on the cob, you pull off the husk and they let them dry. So these are made out of corn husks. So that's another category that you can enter. Right? This church area, everything that you see here has to be made out of corn husks, right? So again, very detailed, lots of work. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you another minute, you guys, maybe fill in a couple of things on your L column in your chart. In the meantime, I'll line up my next part of this. Any questions? Are you guys amazed by the detail that they can come up with all of this? It's amazing, right? In one day. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't either. Okay, I'll give you another minute to just jot some ideas down in the L chart or another question, maybe something come to mind. You can, or you can wait until after we do this last part. It's up to you. Okay, so for this next part, you guys, it's going to go quickly. Try to pay attention. There are going to be some questions, but this is going to take us to the actual contest, okay, to the actual thing, right? Okay, so make sure that you can see, make sure that you can hear. Okay, give me a thumbs up if y'all can see my screen. Okay, all right, here we go. And whatever you see in here, you can add it to the L column or question.
All these people are not just chilling, they are waiting in line to see carved radishes. We are in the city of Oaxaca, in the state of Oaxaca, in Mexico, to see the world's biggest radish carving competition, along with...
Okay, so what is this? The world's largest A or B? Right, radish, we've decided, right? A or B, good. Okay, so the quicker you guys enter answers, the quicker we can move.
Along with several thousand other people. This is Noche de los Rábanos, and I am so excited to show you this strange festival in Mexico. Let's go. Okay, before getting back to the good stuff, which is the radishes, I want to tell you a bit about how this festival started, because it is a little bit crazy. In 1897, it officially launched, but for a long time before that, people were carving radishes here in the square. There's a very famous Christmas market that happens on the 23rd of December every year in the Zocalo in Oaxaca City. Farmers were carving vegetables to put on their stands to attract more customers, and they got a little competitive. And so the government here, the president, made official competition in 1897. That means it's been 120 years of official radish carving here in Oaxaca City. But first...
Okay, so how did it get its start, you guys? Just a couple of things in your, you can actually skip
First, a surprise. Wow. It is the afternoon before the big day, so today is December 22nd, and I'm walking down this small little alleyway in Oaxaca City, dodging piñatas to meet a guy named Juan Manuel. Juan has won this thing almost 20 times before retiring in the mid-1990s. This year he's a judge, so he'll be judging which one of these carvings is the best and is going to win the prize. He's also back there carving his own piece that he's not competing with, he's showcasing it this year in the event. We're going to ask him some questions about competition, strategy, what it's all about. But first I want you to realize how famous this guy is. His face is on the poster. He's a big shot. And I'm super excited he's going to give us some time today on a very busy day for him to ask some questions about the event. Marinelle's already in there. Let's go check it out. Juan Manuel, our artist today, is not just versed in the ways of radishes, he actually sculpts silver. And some of his pieces are like great masters of popular art in Oaxaca. And here's our man, Juan Manuel, with his incredible silver work here. And there's the original model. Entonces, Juan Manuel, ¿cuál es más difícil? ¿Hacer cosas con plata o con rábanos?
Las dos cosas.
Las dos cosas tienen su dificultad.
Okay, which is harder, carving silver, radishes, or both? A, B, or C? A, B, or C? Yep. Yep, very good. Very good, Stace. Yep, C, right? So he says they're both difficult. So this guy is a master sculptor, carver. He's an artist, okay?
Las dos cosas tienen su dificultad.
Sí.
Really? ¿Cuál es una de las cosas más difíciles de escultar los rábanos?
Digamos, armar la figura, porque digamos hay que buscar de los rábanos lo que más se adapte a la figura que va uno a hacer. Eso es lo más difícil. O también el tema que va uno a representar.
No está concursando.
No.
Sí. So he's saying that he's going to decorate the warrior with maybe some carrots, and behind the warrior he's going to put like that crown decorated with onions, little onions, just to be like the attractive part behind of this warrior. And it's going to work in this warrior for the whole day.
So he was also saying that he's not competing this year, he's showcasing himself, right? Is that what he said? So he's won 18 years in a row, and I think if you're a basketball player or a golfer or a radish sculptor, if you win 18 years in a row, I don't think you need to compete anymore. So this year he's just doing a feature piece for the festival.
Okay, how many years has he won? A, B, or C? In a row. He's won, yeah, very good. He's won 20 of them. God, you guys are paying attention. But in a row was 18. Yeah, very good.
What is that, Michael? What is that, Mike?
This is our entry into the competition tomorrow. I'm gonna see what Juan Manuel thinks, but I'm expecting like an easy third.
It's
Maybe
like
not
really
first, but at least third place.
Okay, let me see it. What is his name?
Roy Raúl el Rábano.
Roy Raúl el Rábano.
Roy Raúl el Rábano.
El Rábano.
Vamos a conseguir un premio. Ese rábano.
Un poquito de suerte a lo mejor sí, ¿no?
You need a lot of luck.
Here's the entrance. Here's the line. It goes on forever. So like Juan Manuel was telling us, there's multiple categories here that you can compete in. There's the radishes, which is what draws the most visitors. There's also a corn husk creation category, where they take the husks of corn, when you peel the leaves off of the corn cobs, they use that to make all kinds of things. And some of them are actually incredibly detailed. Wow, this one here is insane! All made of corn husks. Look at the detail. And here we are, the first of the radish sculptures. is a nativity scene, which is one of the more traditional ways to build the exhibits that people put on display. You got to see the detail, and you got to see the creativity that goes into making these things. It's really wild. Here is
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna skip.
here is of the cathedral in Oaxaca. It's a giant crucifixion. Wow. And you can see they found a radish that already has a shape like a beak, because that's all pretty much natural. Here there's an elephant, so they had to find some pieces that look like an elephant trunk, elephant tail, and you kind of put them all together like some kind of giant Frankenstein radish monster until it looks like something like an animal. So originally it was mostly all nativity scenes, but since then it has evolved a lot, and you can see all kinds of different
Skip.
You can see all kinds of different things in the exhibitions. I've seen Mexican luchadors, I've seen mezcal stands, I've seen cherry blossoms, I've seen so many different things. The festival has definitely evolved from the traditional way of doing things, which is just baby Jesus, Mother Mary, Joseph, that whole scene, and become something that you can see a lot of pop culture references in.
Bob Ross. Thank you. Okay, so what does rábano mean? Can you tell me in chat? El rábano, what's it mean? Yep. Come on. I say, what is rábano? Yeah, very good. Arshis. Anybody else? What is a rábano? It's a radish, right? A radish.
So one thing I've noticed a lot of is, besides the amount of work that goes into carving the radishes, the amount of work to stand here and consistently be spraying the radishes for how many hours today? 10, maybe? The radishes don't do very well in the bright sunlight. It's maybe 25 degrees here in Oaxaca City, that's Celsius, on December 23rd. And in that heat, the radishes dry, they crack, they look all crusty, and I just passed the judge. You met the judge, and he doesn't want to see that kind of stuff. If you want your radishes to look the best, you got to keep them moist, and that's why at every stand there's someone misting them, soaking them, keeping them fresh. The red stays redder, the white stays whiter, and they don't look crusty. Because if your radishes look crusty, you're probably not going to win first place. And this is the piece of the judge we met yesterday, Juan Manuel, sitting here in the sun. It is now finished. Before, he didn't have the carrots on his chest. His sword was just being finished. He didn't have the cape on his back or the spot over his private parts, but it's finished now. We are now enjoying the noche part of Noche de los Rábanos. We saw most of the radishes this afternoon, and now we're back at night to see the party, and so is most the city.
Yes.
There's a lot of people here.
If you want to avoid a big line, come in the afternoon.
Totally.
And also big thanks to Don Juan Manuel, who allowed us to go to his house and gave us a big interview.
Okay. All right, you guys. So any questions, first of all, before we switch off this? Any questions? All right. Well, what did you think? Tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Is it cool? Is it weird? Would you go if you were there? Tell me what you think. Would you do that? Would it be something that would interest you? Yeah, Christopher? Yeah? Yeah, other than the lines, absolutely. What do y'all think? Thumbs up to the whole Noche de Rábanos or thumbs down to the whole? Yeah, okay. Muy bien, muy bien. All right. So go ahead and finish up the KWL chart and submit. Okay. There's obviously no right or wrong answers there. Okay. So it's kind of free points. So you want to make sure you get those submitted. And then the next thing that was in the module, like below that, is a discussion question. Okay. What is a local tradition where you live, or one that you do with your family? Okay. Describe it. Is there something unique about how your family celebrates the holidays? Right. And don't worry, because no one else will see the responses but me. But again, you guys, it's an easy 5 points because you're going to do it in English, right? So just go ahead and respond to the discussion question before you leave today. Turn in your KWL chart. We still have some time on purpose because I want to make sure that everybody has time to complete any missing or late assignments in Canvas or in VHL. I also need for you to listen for your name. Okay, so listen for your name. Kamura, Carlin, Melanie, Akari, and maybe Charlie. You guys were absent yesterday. We took a quiz yesterday. You need to make sure that you complete the quiz today. Okay. I'll say it again. Kamura, Carlin, Melanie, Akari, and Charlie. And I'll put an announcement here in just a second. Okay. If you heard your name, you folks need to complete your quiz from yesterday. All right. Any questions about what we're doing? I'll put it all in the chat. Stay in class, right? Okay, guys, check the chat. And I'll put it in Go Guardian as well. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to pop it in Go Guardian also. If you didn't complete the Nearpod for our En La Escuela, there's the link in the chat. Need help finding something? Let me know. Carolina, Charlie, Dallas, Elizabeth, you need help finding something? Let me know. Nikki. Thank you, Kamara. Melanie. Melanie, can you hear me? If you need help finding something, please let me know. We still have 3 minutes, you guys. Finish up the discussion question and the KWL. That's an easy 10 points. If you needed to take your quiz today, you should have done that. If you need help finding something, you need to let me know before our time is up. Marsha, some of those are unpublished because I still have people that need to take the quiz, right? So I apologize. Did you hear me, Arshis? Yeah. Arshas, can you check the chat in Zoom? Thank you, Stacy. Okay, you guys, that's our time. Any last minute questions? Go ahead and get stuff submitted. And if you do think of something, please inbox me in Canvas because that's a faster way for me to respond to you. Okay? All right, enjoy your weekend, you guys. Nos vemos lunes. Adios. I hope you enjoyed La Noche de los Rábanos today. Adios.
Adios.
Hasta lunes.